Hello everyone. It's James again. And before I start today's video, I just want to quickly say, all work in this video contains 100% original content of and by myself James Smith, otherwise known as Bgood 4000, and was uniquely created with NAWMAL software, by myself James Smith. As I purchased commercial rights from NAWMAL to produce my unique and original video with this software. Commentary is uniquely my own thoughts, feelings, and expressions. Now that I have that out of the way, I do hope your day is going better than fantastic. And your journey to self-betterment is going better than fantastic as well. Today, as mentioned briefly in my last video, I want to talk about the people pleaser. And the reason why is because there are tons of information about what makes you, me and others people pleasers in a toxic sense. And I have to agree with majority of what is said in many of these videos. I've even covered this topic many years ago. And have worked on my people pleasing ways. And it's something I still pray about and I am mindful of. However, I must say, I've been doing much better lately and I believe I have a bit more of a healthier way I go about things. And a big part of it is slowing things down. Again, I repeat, one of the biggest reasons for having some amount of success in this area is slowing things down. And not just thinking about others' actions, but my own actions or future actions. Does this add value? Does this not add value? Should I sit back and see what happens before jumping into things too soon, so to speak? Am I reacting on emotion? Let's stop and logically think things through. This has helped me realize that not every situation requires me to jump in and save the day. Actually, most situations are like that where it doesn't require you to do so. And what I mean by that is, fixing every single problem your friend or neighbor has is unhealthy. What I've found out real fast is if you offer possibly a quick answer on something they can do for themselves. Either some people are thankful for an answer that allows them to do the work. And they might say, "That's good info. I've never thought about that. Thanks." And some will realize you aren't jumping in to save the day. Which is a narcissist's test they like to run on you to see what type of narcissistic supply you might have to offer them. But with all of that being said, I believe there are some positive aspects of what makes us people pleasers. But because of our upbringing, lack of love, and not having healthy boundaries, our natural feeling like we want to help becomes warped and channeled into wrong areas of life and into the wrong people. Now, first and foremost, you can only save yourself. However, I do encourage those that have experience with narcissism and they have a firm grasp on their emotions, at least to some degree while they are going through the self-work. As we are always going through some sort of self-work, I do encourage such people to, if it's in you, to write a blog, or make a video, or that might be something you possibly can consider. And possibly your story can help someone directly or indirectly. But just walking up to people and trying to tell them this stuff likely won't go well and it will likely just be a waste of time. Because I find making these videos greatly helping me in many areas of my life. But I also feel good to know that this information is finding those that are needing it. It's put out there for those that might find it and for those that might need it. And that's all I really can do. And that may be all you can do. But here's the thing. This goes back to what I was saying. There is something in you other than the toxic part that was trained up to make you a people pleaser or narcissistic supply for others. But there is a side where you want to share. When you get something, your first reaction is to share with others. Meaning, you learned how to do a difficult math problem in school. And your first reaction is to share that information with a friend that you know might be struggling. Well, you learned about narcissism. You now understand what you grew up in. And you don't want others to go through what you went through. Now, there is reality. There's no way to completely prevent such things on your end. Because you just can't. but you feel that if you provide even a small amount of information for others to find, that might help someone so they can break free sooner than you did, you will feel good as a result. Simply put, you're not selfish. Yes. There are many toxic and strange traits of the people pleaser. Like for instance, there are some people pleasers that will do something expecting friendship or love literally in return. And when they don't get it, they get depressed or upset. And that is something that one must check within themselves if that is indeed the case. However, I believe there are a great many people that have the non-selfish way of people pleasing. Simply because they just aren't selfish. They just aren't. And you have to ask yourself, isn't being kind and not selfish a good thing? You see, we've gotten to a point in this world, again, where bad is good and good is bad. We are told over and over and over again, treat this person like garbage if you want your relationship to go well. Because if you treat them with love and care, they will walk all over you. And the sad part is we see these very things play out in society. You treat someone with love. Not all, but a good majority. And when you do this, or when we see people do this, we see them get walked on and taken for all they are worth. But then we have those that act like they don't care. They act like narcissists basically. And they get what they want. Why? Well, it's because we see narcissism not only pushed in a great many areas of life, but it's almost accepted as normal. And the big part is, a great many people this treating people like garbage works on. They come from by and large dysfunctional backgrounds, despite their outward appearances looking to be normal. And that's how we know there is a problem. Because this backwards way of being has become normalized and it works most of the time. And again, what does that say about you? Yes. You don't have low boundaries, and possibly you might not have boundaries at all. And you do need to work on them. It's very important with how you will function in your life with others. And it's possible you have these low boundaries because of the toxic home you might have come from. But the other part of things is you're not a selfish person. You're not. In most cases. And here's the thing. The narcissist sees that and targets you. Because when a narcissist finds someone that truly has real deal caring inside of them, and real love, and a real sense of love, they see you as a juicy ripe fruit, so to speak, to be picked and consumed. And it's because those that have true love, they make for the best narcissistic supply. Because they can feel the emotions coming off of you. They can feel that pain radiating from you. And they find that comes from those that love the most and deepest. And those that are the least selfish. Maybe this will make a bit of sense. Think about the narcissist in your life. Maybe a parent or parents. A sibling. Or someone you dated or were married to. After the love bombing wore off, if it was someone new in your life, and they started in with their mean treatment, or narcissist do tests, what did they accuse you of? They accused you of being secretive. Why? So they could turn you into a chronic confessor. So they could always stay 10 moves ahead of you. So they could always keep you as a piece of supply they can use at any time they need. And they would also accuse you of being selfish. Because they know. They know that you aren't selfish. And they know for a fact that you love to give from your heart. And they know if they accuse you of being selfish, that this will hurt you deeply. And they want to see if you will tell them to kick rocks. Or if you will run around like a person with no direction trying to prove to this narcissist you aren't selfish. You might give them a prized possession of yours that cannot be replaced. You might put yourself into debt to buy them that thing that they have been hinting around that they want. Or you might put your name on a loan for a car for them. And you are stuck when they stop paying. And when they again accuse you of not doing anything for them. And you cite all of the things you literally almost destroyed your life so you could provide certain things they needed. And most of the times things just they wanted but didn't need. They say to you, just like in the Janet Jackson song, "What have you done for me lately?" Now indeed. Most of these things happened because we had literally no boundaries. However, they do pick you because you have genuine and kind traits. In most. Not all, but most cases. You see. Once every now and again. A rare thing will happen. When a narcissist is close to discarding you and they are now treating you with no respect. Either in a time when they are faking they want to fix things or when they are mad and yelling. They might admit certain things. And one of these things is why they picked you. Susie did this very thing with me. She did this in different ways. When she was yelling and screaming, she would stop, turn and look at me like an intelligent demon. And she would smile and call me a sucker. And called me a dummy for falling for the idea that she actually loved me. Then later, she would say, she only said that out of anger and that she really loved me. And that she picked me. She picked me because I was loving, kind. And I wasn't selfish. Look people. These are great traits to have. Great traits to have. But they must be used with solid boundaries and with the ability to slow things down and look at what's going on objectively. And to be able to make better life choices based on such things. And for me as well. I pray. I pray. I pray for a good life direction and for trying to do the right thing in regards to such dealings with people. And for the power to walk away safely and slowly from those that I get a bad vibe from. But we've been told over and over and over. Being kind is a weakness. And I will say this. Being kind isn't a weakness. But how far you extend that kindness and not having boundaries with that kindness can be a weakness. This is why I say, don't get down on yourself. You see, there are couples as I've talked about that have been married for 50, 60 and 70 years. And they joke with each other. They laugh with each other. They tell each other they love each other every single day. And they look at each other like they first met when they were younger. Now there were those that grew up in such time periods that didn't express love because they felt like it was weak. But likely. Not always. Those were likely those that grew up in tough backgrounds despite what money they may or may not have had in their families. And they likely didn't do the self-work because they didn't even know where to start or begin. But there were also a great many that even if they grew up in such a home, they knew they didn't want to treat their spouse in a negative way. Nor did they want to treat their son or daughter the same way they were treated growing up. And they were blessed to be in a time where they had a chance to find someone that would be capable of giving love and capable of receiving love. And this is very important. Because we are in a generation of broken people even more so than then. Yes. There has been broken people for a long time now. But it appears the amount of broken people has grown in leaps and bounds. And that coupled with narcissism and the inability to self-reflect. You have a stew brewing with narcissism bubbling over. So that's why you hear, oh, you have to treat this person poorly and that person poorly to get somewhere. And then you see it work when others do it. And it works because despite what you see on the outside, I will almost bet you that the people that it works on are deeply broken and damaged inside. They have run around into one damaging relationship after the next. And the ability to bond and connect has been almost stripped from them. To the point where they are extremely close to being a cousin of a narcissist. They might have some ability to self-reflect. But with each person they treat poorly. That light gets dimmer and dimmer and dimmer. All the while the real deal narcissists of the world cheer in delight. So what I want you to understand about yourself. Yes. They did pick you for some toxic traits that were likely trained up within you while you were growing up. Yes. Yes. That is something we know. But they also picked you because of something good you possess inside. Your ability to put yourself in others' shoes. And your ability to give and to not be selfish. Those are great traits. Don't lose them. But just understand they can be used against you. So please do the self-work. Develop boundaries. Self-reflect on your life and those you have in your life. You don't have to try to save the world. But like they tell you on the airplane, if there is an emergency, put the safety oxygen mask on your face first before you try to help others. Because if you pass out, what good will you be with trying to help others? So I take that to mean, do the self-work. Be kind. But don't extend yourself to everyone you meet. Even if they appear to be what one would call nice. Let time pass. And see what happens. Pray to God. He gave you the gift of kindness, love, and not being selfish. And with those gifts you will likely need a way to protect those gifts. Boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. With that said, I think this is a great place to stop. I would like to know what you think. So please leave your comments in the comments section below. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so and be a part of this channel's growth. With that said, I do hope your day is blessed. And until next time, bye for now. And be good to yourself.